How's it going, guys? 101 back with more regular WWE 2K14 related content, and in today's video we're going to be talking about ladder matches in the upcoming game and some changes and some additions that would make them that much better. So as we know, ladder matches are always fun, but in the last couple of games they definitely seem to have kind of done them down a little bit. Hopefully they're going to be a little bit better in 2K14. And if they were to include any of the ideas in this video, then I really do think they would improve quite a lot. Okay, so some of these are my own ideas, and some of these ideas are actually from you guys as well, from the comments in the previous video. So the first improvement I want to see in the new game is going to be improved rope physics. And by that, I'm kind of meaning when someone falls off a ladder, you know, near the ropes, they'd actually go onto the ropes like in real life, maybe even go nuts first onto the ropes, or just kind of straddle the ropes, and just general stuff that we see in real life. Because currently, if a wrestler goes near the ropes, they tend to either go over the rope or just avoid the ropes entirely. But it wasn't always that way. Back in the previous games, there was some proper rope physics. Not entirely sure why they removed them in the last couple of games, but still, if they were to improve rope physics in 2K14, I think that would be a great start to improving the ladder matches. Another change I would like to see would be improvements on the springboard moves actually involving the ladder. And by that I mean, say your opponent is on top of the ladder reaching for the belt, the briefcase or whatever, and you're on the apron, how cool would it be to be able to springboard from the apron onto the ladder? And I don't mean knocking the ladder over with the opponent on, I'm talking about actually landing on the ladder, so you and the opponent stay on the ladder and then battle out for that championship or briefcase. I think how cool that would be. That would create some awesome moments in the upcoming game. And a similar thing goes for my next one. So I'd like to see the same kind of thing for when you lean the ladder on the apron and then run up it into the ring. If you could run up it and jump onto the top of the ladder and stay on it, again like we saw in previous games, then that would be great. So not entirely sure why they removed that from the game the last year or two, but if they were to bring that back again, I think that would be a nice addition and another way to create some cool moments and spots in ladder matches in the upcoming game. The next change and improvement I want to see is going to be a pretty basic one for more ladder grapples and moves. As we know in 13, very limited to any grapples we can actually do involving the ladder on this one. I think there's only one proper grapple, and that involves with you basically hitting the ladder over the back of your opponent, and then there are 2 or 3 grapples in the corner as well. So I would just like to see some more of those, even just some simple ones like we've seen in previous games. An example of one would be when you grapple your opponent with the ladder, you basically lay them on the mat on top of the ladder, so then you've got your opponent on the ladder, and that will allow you then to go to the top rope or whatever you want to do to try and create some cool moves to come down on them. And again, like I said, that is in the previous game, so we're definitely finding some pattern here with the removal of features from previous games. So hopefully in 2K14 we're going to be getting a lot of the old physics and old ideas back into the new game, and if they do that, that would definitely be cool. And speaking of moves with the ladder, I would also like to see some more general moves and more finishes with the ladder itself. But guys, as some of you will know, we did cover that in a previous video, so not going to go into that too much here. But if you missed that previous video where we were discussing special moves with the ladder, then feel free to check that out. I'll put a link to that video in the description. But moving on guys, more improvements. Something else I would like to see, and judging from the comments in the previous video, I think you guys want to see it as well, and that is going to be different variations of the ladder. So you guys mentioned maybe seeing a couple of colours with the ladder, and that would be cool, but the main variation that I would personally like to see would be the actual size of the ladders. I think I'm right in saying in all the previous games the ladders have always been the same size, so maybe this could be the year they finally introduce some different sizes of ladders. There's only been 3 or 4 in real life, so there's not too many. If they did want to add some, even just to add 1 or 2 would definitely kind of refresh the ladder matchup a little bit. So potential ladders they could include could be the super high ladder, which has created so many awesome moments over the years. They could have a tiny hornswoggle type ladder in there, not necessarily to actually climb the ladder, but would be kind of a cool weapon to use inside of ladder match. And then the third ladder is going to be the reinforced ladder that we have seen guys on the Big Show use in recent years. So adding any of those ladders to the match just to kind of see some new things is always good. And I don't think adding any of those ladders would necessarily be anything too complex. So if they wanted to do that, they could probably do that fairly easily, and hopefully we might see a different ladder in 2K14. Another thing I would like to see changed and improve upon in 2K14, and I know again that you guys feel exactly the same way I do, and that is going to be, we want a new winning animation as well as a new animation when you actually pull the briefcase or belt down, because every time you do it currently on 13 and the previous games, you always grab the belt and then immediately fall to the mat. So what would be better and would be more realistic is an animation to actually have your superstar stay on the ladder and hold the championship above his head or something like that, just to kind of make it more realistic, so every time we actually win a match you're not falling to the match straight away. That would be cool. And the final one on my list is another pretty basic one, and that one is going to be improved ladder physics. And by that I basically mean the ladders shouldn't be able to knock over so easily, and they shouldn't be able to break up moves. So for example, if you do a move like an Irish whip to your opponent onto the ropes, if your opponent even clips that ladder, they're going to fall over, and that can get a bit annoying at times. So one way they could quite easily fix that would be just to have a very basic animation where the wrestler pretty much hops over it. You know, it's something very simple, but still would be an improvement nonetheless, but definitely simple but effective. And I think we're going to be leaving it there for now, guys. That's just a handful of changes and improvements I would like to see to ladder matches in the upcoming 2K14. But let me know, guys, what you think of my ideas in this video, and let me know what you personally want to see change to the ladder matches in 2K14 that's going to improve the quality of ladder matches and make the ladder matches a little bit more fun, in your opinion. As far as 2K14 content goes for me, expect some more in the next day or two. Next up, we're going to be doing a table finisher idea video as well as an independent wrestling DLC pack, so definitely stay tuned for those couple of videos coming in the next day or two. But until then, this has been 101. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I will see you all on the next one.